everybody, and God bless. So I had a dream, and it took me a while to record this dream just because it shook me a bit. So because after I had the dream, I woke up and I just felt exhausted. And in the dream, what was happening was I was being graded and tested for every little thing I did, everything I said, everything I moved, everything I did. And there were a whole lot of women around me, and I felt like it was all the women of the world. It seemed like it was so many women, and they were all just staring at me, and I knew they were judging me, as in not really like judging me like, oh, what is she doing, but it was more like, oh, she did that, so we should do that. Okay, what should we do next? This is what we should do. And they were watching me to know what to do, and everything I did, it was like I was being tested by a different teacher, and I had to report to them. And they told me what I did wrong or what I did right. And it was every little tiny thing. And so when I woke up, I was just like, wow, this is so exhausting. And I think after that dream is when my mom had her most recent dream that she had posted. And I'm not sure if it's still going to be recent when I finally get to upload this video. But basically it was, in her dream, she saw that I represented every virtuous woman. And so having my dream, I had my dream before, but then she had her dream, so it was just even more just overwhelming. And I was just like, what is this saying? This is like the third time I've been shown that I am important to the women in some way. And so I was seeking God today. I was like, God, you've told me that I am a virtuous woman. What on earth does that mean? Because I am not the typical Proverbs 31 woman. She wakes up early in the morning every day, and she reads her Bible in the morning. She drinks her coffee or tea or whatever you drink, and then she goes on a morning walk, and she goes to the gym, and she does all this, and it's like consistent. And I'm like, God, I am not. Like, I have got my schedule written. I've got 2 different schedules written based off of what time I go to sleep or what time I wake up, and I have not followed neither one of them. And I've talked about my schedules before. I've been changing my schedules I don't know how many times, but basically my point is the fact that I'm like, I'm not like that at all. I'm not cooking and cleaning every single day. My room becomes messy. I'm a single mother, and even if I wasn't a single mother, I know me, I'll probably, every once in a while just like let it go. And that's just who I am, okay? And it's because of how busy I am constantly, working for God, and I'm being led by God. A lot of times I'm just sitting there and I'm just getting revelations, and sometimes I'm literally just sitting there because I'm exhausted, and I just sit there and there's nothing going on in my head. I'm just sitting there. And so I'm like, God, I don't understand. What does this mean that I'm a virtuous woman? And as I was talking to God, it just all came in flushing, and I was just like, the difference between me and these women out here who probably think they're virtuous women but are not, is the fact that they are led by these set of rules. They're led by what they think a Proverbs 31 woman is. They're led by what that so-called Christian person should be doing. They're led by all of that. They're led by what people tell them they should do or what they think they should do. We're not supposed to lean on our own understanding. And I heard in my spirit, I am led by God. Okay, things change in my life. I don't beat myself up over it. Like, yeah, let's say I'm supposed to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock in the morning, and I miss that. My alarm goes off and I skip it because I'm tired. Okay, God is not a tyrant God. I'm not doing it because I'm lazy and I want to lay on in bed all day. It's because I'm tired, and I know me. I'll get up eventually and I'll knock out everything I'm supposed to do, but okay. And I don't beat myself over that. And like if I have a dream, like for instance, when I had this dream, it literally, I woke up, I was exhausted. And God is not a tyrant God. So I know he's not going to be like, you're supposed to wake up, you're supposed to do all this stuff. Like, he knows that dream was exhausting. Okay, I went back to sleep and I slept in. Like, I turned off all my alarms. So I was like, nah, like I need a break because that was very exhausting. And I'm not going to beat myself up over it because I genuinely believe in being led by God to lead me and guide me on what to do. Okay, like, yeah, I can go in the kitchen and I'll probably eat some leftovers, or I'll probably just have like oatmeal for the whole entire day, or if I do cook, it's going to be by a recipe. Like, who cares? Like, I'm not Mother Teresa or first of all, I'm saying that as a saying, but the true Mother Teresa was a wicked woman. Okay, I don't even want to go into that, but I'm just saying it because it's a saying. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm not this Betty Crocker type woman, because that's not what God led me to be. Now, if you're that kind of woman, as long as you're being led by God, that is what's important. Okay, if you're the type of woman to cook and clean every single day and, you know, take care of everybody, and that's what makes you happy, that's how you feel led by God, you don't feel this burden, that's you, bravo, great, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, and even if you're the opposite, if you're the type of woman that's like, well, I work all the time and I'm constantly working, I don't have time to like cook and clean, I don't have time to do those things. Now granted, my house isn't a hoarder house looking house. I do clean every once in a while, I pick up here and there, and I probably do like meal preps or something like that. I'm not doing it out of laziness, I'm doing it because I genuinely feel like God is leading me to do something else. And everybody in my household, I'm going to take care of you as best as I can, but at the end of the day, like you really need to be taking care of yourself. If you're that kind of woman, that's okay, as long as you are being led by God. And that's where it's important. This whole agenda of the Proverbs 31 woman, I've always had an issue with it from the very beginning. I remember I did see one here and there, and I was like, oh, I'll probably I like that idea, I'll take a little bit here and there, a little bit here and there. But I always had an issue with it, and I believe that I've talked about it before. The issue is, it's always consistent. Every single Proverbs 31 woman type video I've seen are always the same. She wakes up early, she drinks something, she goes on a walk. Oh, don't forget the Bible reading, the aesthetics, and the candles and the highlighters and the this and the music, and oh, let's read like one chapter out of the Bible, but then we're going to read a devotional, because you know devotionals are definitely the Bible too. Like, no, they're not, but whatever. And what I mean by devotionals, because I do read devotionals, and the devotionals that I read are literally just scriptures. I'm talking about these people are like, this book was written by Joel Osteen. This book was written by T.D. Jakes, Joyce Myers. Like, and I'm telling you right now, I really, really pray there is not a devotional out there that's written by Trump, that y'all women out here talking about some, I'm Proverbs 31, and you trying to read something like that. Okay. But my point is, that's what's going on with this Proverbs 31 is these set of rules. It's like the female version of the Pharisees and Sadducees is what I'm seeing. And a lot of times when I see these videos, I keep going in on the people who are posting these videos, and yeah, they're posting Christian content, but in the background they've got worldly music, or they'll be like, oh, this is how you dress modest, but then in another video they were at the gym in a crop top. Now, I don't want to get too much into that because I've talked about it before, but my point is, to be a true virtuous woman, you need to forget what everybody tells you to do. As in, this is what you're supposed to do type of thing. Like, you need to let that go. You need to stop seeking people first to figure out what to do. If you really want to be a Proverbs 31 woman, you need to be led by God. That's what all of that is. Proverbs 31, she's being led by God. Okay, she takes care of her household. God wants you to take care of your household. Don't be led by people that say, oh, well, women, this is how you take care of your household. You stay home and you cook and clean. You take care of the babies. Like, but what if God is calling me to go work? And granted, I can be married to a man that's also being called to work, but you can't expect me to come home and also take care of everything in this house and still call you the man of the house. Like, how does that work? If I'm doing most of the stuff, taking care of it without me, you would like fail. Okay? How does that work? When you get married to someone, you're supposed to be equal. Now, granted, you know, you as a woman, you could be really, really good at cooking and cleaning, and your husband can be really, really good at, you know, managing the money. Okay, you guys are equal because you made an agreement. Everything's great. Everything's working. Everything's functioning to be equal. And I read this in, I think it was in Colossians or 2 Corinthians. I think it's in 2 Corinthians. Hopefully I can find it. But when I read the scripture, it really taught me, like, when you're equal, it's really about like what one person lacks, the other person can fulfill, and what that person lacks, you can fulfill. Okay, it's like a puzzle piece, and I've told my friend this before. It's like a puzzle piece, two puzzle pieces that connect together. They are not the exact same. They're a little bit different so that they can fit in correctly, right? So now let's switch the roles. Let's say your husband is really good at cooking and cleaning. Like, that's like something that he's really, really good at, and you're really good at taking care of the money. And God's like, this is equal. But the society says, that's a woman's job, and and all this stuff. So now you as a woman is like, well, I'm not going to touch the money. I'm just going to help cook and clean. Okay, well, now you both are good at cooking and cleaning. So like, he could have done that on his own. Like, you're not really adding anything to the table. You're not really helping anything. What you should be doing is, where does that person, he lacks in keeping the books. You're good at keeping the books, but you don't want to touch it because society says, oh no, that's a man's job. Like, come on, make it make sense. Now, it's okay to have some things that are, you know, you guys probably do together, and you know, all that stuff. That's cute, that's great. But I'm talking about the people who genuinely like, I don't want to touch that because it's a man's job or because it's a woman's job. I don't want to touch that at all. And now your life, your home, your marriage is starting to fail because you're like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that because it's a man's job. Or I don't want to do that because it's a woman's job. But where is that in the Bible? Where in the Bible do we have gender roles like that? It's about being equal. It's about fulfilling where there's an emptiness. It's not about what society says. Okay, now don't get me wrong. If you as a woman are like, oh, you know what, I want to learn how to cook and clean. I'm not saying you shouldn't. And as a man, you want to learn how to, you know, keep the books and do man's job, whatever. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is, don't not do something because you think it will upset society. We are not led by society. We're led by God. And I really pray that makes sense, guys. Be led by God. I don't care how many pastors come to your face. I don't care how many Christian people come to your face. Oh, I've been saved for 20 years, so I know what God is saying. I could care less about your title. And I believe that's why I've been shown I'm a virtuous woman. I don't care about what you have to say unless you are genuinely being led by God. Because if you're being led by your side mouth, whatever you think, your thought process, whatever worked for the society for many years, that means nothing to me. It really doesn't. So my point is, all of these people out here with their scholars or psychology or I'm a relationship counselor and all of these things and everything like that means nothing if you don't have God. I don't care if you've been in a successful marriage for 20, 40, 50 years. I don't want to hear what made your relationship work if you don't mention God. Because nothing works on this planet without him. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Okay, great, you won a lottery, or great, you've gotten this doctorate. I don't care. None of that matters if God is not there. And that's what's important. So all of these Proverbs 31 women type videos, the first thing you should be saying is, I am led by God, and this is what God led me to do. So God may lead you to do something else. Seriously, as soon as you hear one of these videos and they don't mention that, take it with a grain of salt. Like I said, I've listened to those videos here and there, and they'll probably do like something that I normally do, but in a different technique type of way. And I'm like, oh, you know, I can take that. But to take that entire video doing 100% what they do, that is sick and weird. I'm sorry. That's a little weird. But you know, I really hope you guys are listening to me. Please, please, please be led by God. And, you know, what my video was showing, that every little thing I did was being watched. And so I was seeking God, like, God, how do I not mess up? And it was like, you know, trying to mess with me. But then I realized, if you're truly led by God, you truly have full trust in God, everything that you do and say should naturally just fall in line, because I want it to be my personality. Okay, so that's something that I was really teaching myself when after I had this dream. Like, if I'm fully led by God, I'm fully following God, I strongly believe he is going to take out all of those evil spirits that made me want to do things the weird way, or, you know, the opposite of a virtuous woman is a Jezebel. So whatever made me want to act that way, or whatever made me want to act like a fool, things like that. When God delivers us, he fully delivers us. So I just strongly believe that when God delivers me, I'm going to naturally just be a virtuous woman, naturally be a strong feminine woman, okay? A woman of God is going to be strong and feminine, okay? Okay, so that is what's important, and it's what I really hope you guys get from this video, is to be led by God. Stop worrying about, oh, am I doing this wrong, am I doing this wrong, am I doing this wrong? Just focus on God and trust in him to teach you and lead you and guide you, because if you're truly focused on him, everything should just fall into place. And he'll let you know right away, like, okay, you're doing this wrong. You need to fix this. You need to fix this. You need to fix this. And when he tells you those things, you need to trust in him to help you be delivered from those things. Trust in him that the things that he shows you that's wrong with your heart, that he's also going to show you a solution. Because God is not the author of confusion. So he's not going to just tell you something's wrong with you and then just leave you going, just whatever. You're screwed. Okay. I strongly believe in the God who will show us what's wrong and fix us. And the more you say, God, show me my heart, and the more you open up to being okay with being corrected, and the more you follow God and follow those corrections, I believe that God is going to teach you naturally how to be a virtuous man or woman. All right. Your man out there too, virtuous man. All right. I believe he's going to teach you these things. He's going to lead you and guide you on, if you do have to watch outside videos, like God is going to lead me and guide me to be able to sift through the information I should keep, the information I should throw away. I definitely believe that God is going to help me with that. And just a quick side note, well, sort of, because it's on the virtuous woman thing, but an example is the fact that, like, with the etiquette thing, I was looking up like etiquette things, and a woman showed up. And instantly my spirit was like, no. Her version of etiquette is Jezebel. I just felt that, like, this is a woman is teaching people how to be bad and bougie. No, that is not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for how to walk seductively. I'm not looking for how to talk seductively. I am looking for how to present myself as a confident woman of God. And as soon as I saw this lady's channel, I felt in my spirit, get out. Okay. And that is where I'm coming to. You have to trust in God to lead you and guide you on what to listen to, what to not listen to, and things like that. So I really hope that makes sense, guys. And yeah, so God bless you all. Have a nice one.